You can't. Her hips are going to move forward and her knees to move over her toes. She just stands up. Stand up and sit down. Okay, now can you come up with this beam for a second? Here, this area nobody's using, that's okay. Just crawl up on the beam. So you have to pick. Some of the stuff overlaps. Like I said, what Moss does for our international team, he relates to beam tumbling. With floor, we relate to floor tumbling. Everything relates. Squat down. Sit down. Yeah, just sit down. So what happens, the arms stay over their head, like their back's against the wall, up straight. It's all knees out over the toes and hips forward. And go, sit down. So, because they're more accountable, don't move your toes. Don't move your toes. Okay, and stand up. Don't move your toes. So sometimes you have to hold their feet and sit down because they play the piano with their toes. Now, if they've hurt their ankle, come back down. They have to relearn how to do that. So for your level 1, 2, 3, and 4, they'll stand up and sit down beautiful. By the time you get to 7, 8, 9, 10 in elite, they have to stop before it stops. Stop before the board. And go, roll, don't jump, no roll, just no, stay in a tuck, stay in a tuck. You just push off your feet. Push off your feet, only your feet, only your feet, thank you. Push off your toes, toes. So this is it, well, no, that wasn't it. Can anybody stay in a tuck? So all they get, they're in the tuck, is pushing off their toes and driving their hamstring, not straight into a pike, close, pike, close. One more time. And jump off. Do not jump off, then step back down. Now, the thing is, most countries, they jump up on blocks all the time, and they jump up on blocks to their rib height, okay? We have to start it when we get them, okay? So they won't be jumping that way without the coordination of the arms, the hip rise, and the shake. So they'll work their way up to where you may have different setups for it. Like when I used to coach all the time, I would have my elite. Coach, got to move faster. Not a double bounce. Okay, you don't have to roll the second one if you're not on the mat. Jump up and roll. And standing. Yeah, not an underarm. Not forward, not circle, not underarm. It's for relevate, lean back. Push your hips forward. Push your hips forward. Push your hips back. It's for front handspring front. So this goes up. So it's very important they try to stand. Now I'm going to ask her to try to, you know how to do it front foot somewhere? Yeah. Okay, can you jump and up and just try to go like you're going to go for the front foot? Nope. No, just up on top. It'll be a fast forward roll, but you're going to attempt to jump. Jump and roll. That's a roll. So do you see how I'm spotting her? Come back. The same spot's going to happen. Go, jump. So that I get her hips and I get her chest, okay? So that you need to learn that. So if everybody wants to put down your papers now, so you don't pick your head up. You had no chest roll with your hips. No, dive before you bend those legs. No, girls, get off your hands. Bend, touch. Bend, touch, go, kick. Yeah, but you're not finishing the first three. Okay? So then this moves up from here to here, which we won't have time to do today. And then they fall against the mat, go with their hips. Like that. To learn how to do the handspring. Then this turns into they run or power hurdle, handspring to try to get over the mat. Hands in here, feet there, hands in there, you can learn front handspring, and it turns into front layouts. So you mix that in, you mix it in with the tumble track stuff, and it goes huge. Okay? But we have to move on to back tumbling. Okay? So before we do, can you do it one more time with the cube, girls? And please show, like you did over there, a chest row shape. Oh, go ahead and get your pen. You get a slider. Pull it over here. Better. Like you're falling into the mat. Move up and fall into the mat. Make sure you're close enough. Oh, real far. Right here. Don't pull your head up and you won't go that far. And bend cut. Push, yes. So their hips go in. You're close, girls, move it back. And then touch. Push your hips to touch the mat. Today. Now, even if you land like that, just touch the mat. Relevate, touch the mat with your hips. Your hips, yes. Your hip, oh, better. But you see, it turns over so that they don't want to do front tumbling with their hips and legs. They want to do it with their chest. So it's very counteract. That's why I really teach aerials Like I was teaching the front flip before we did the front handspring. I teach aerials before you do the front handspring. But that's not how. Okay, now right here, everybody has a set of sliders. She stands on the sliders, she points. Give me one cube. Let's put a cube in there. And she's going to touch the cube and then kick the sliders back and go to handstand. Touch, kick, go. Now I went to these years ago. I won't tell you how many, because I couldn't get a leg drive. Our top kids that do great front tumbling and all good aerials, they start on one side of the floor and they kick them 40 feet. If we had years of dance to get a good grand battement, that would be great, but we don't have here. So we have furniture movers that are people movers. And go. And bend, touch, kick. Now where you have to, very nice, that was a good one. No, you have to have the weight on the back foot. So they should be touching the cube and kicking it back and kicking the sliders back. So you have to start with handstand, because if they happen to go forward, can I borrow you, sweetheart? Everybody do it without a cube first and a band. Okay, just mountain climb, act like the cube is there, touch, and go, kick. Now, can you put this, come here and give me the slider for you. Go girls, bend, kick. Now where you have to be careful with this, there's a fine line on hurdles and round-offs of the degree of mountain climb. What happens is she mountain climbs, you're just going to bend, and she starts to kick a needle, and if that leg doesn't kick back, it judders a little or goes to a split, push it forward, like that, then they are candidates for hurting. Here, move the sliders. Go down, like, put your hands in the ground. Leg up. Hurting this hamstring on vault. Our worst injuries for national team is a hamstring, but not from leaps. From massively running down the vault runway and leaving that leg down. So it's a dead giveaway if they can't do the handstand, the cartwheel, the front handspring, the everything round off with those, then they probably are a candidate of leaving the leg down. All right, that being said, girls, put the bands down, move the sliders off. And the knuckle right here has to be there. Let her go for a second. If they do this, it's gone. So it needs to be high force arch. So they won't straighten all the way because nobody has enough flex to do that. And plie back down and straighten up. Hold the, yeah, don't. And they're going to hold your heel there and you dive before you push her. Don't touch her. And straighten back up and down. Where do you feel it? Right. Okay. And where do you feel it? And where do you feel it? On your toes? Okay. 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 Now we're going to say the right foot and straighten and plie and straighten and plie and change feet other side and straighten and plie and straighten and plie. Relax a second. Now right your toes underneath, underneath, underneath. You may have to grab like this underneath. I don't care. Yeah. Ankles together. And start to straighten, but don't show me the knuckles. And plie. And start to straighten and plie. And I'll say the right foot. And start to straighten. Don't tickle. She's trying to help you. And again. Plie and change. And don't see your knuckles. If they knuckle it, they curl it. Straighten and plie and relax. Okay, now ankles together, ankles together, ankles together, ankles together. And basically, if they can't walk on top of the high beam, and relax. Their feet are going to have walking deductions because it's going to be all over the place. If you can't have it back, very low arabesque, an inch off the beam. So high relevant, higher, get off my hand, get off my hand. Low arabesque, flatten your hips, flat. And he holds the heel up as far as he can, then she goes side by side, put it beside the beam. Don't lose that relevant. Side beside the beam, beside. Put that foot right there, relevate, you haven't lost relevate. Then you hold here for 5, then you hold in front, put it in front. Don't touch that beam, don't touch it. Get this higher, higher, that's it. Okay, so we're going to go across the beam and the coach follows. We do this at every tops and developmental because if they can't go with totally square hips, low arabesque, side by side, forward. That side by side is all their switch leg leaps. It's all the stuff happening. So if you don't have high lifted hips and can't hold in a high releve and their heel goes up and down, once their heel lowers, their hips pike. And then when I do education for the judges, I go, if you see a pike in your hip on any apparatus, it's a deduction. So if the judges can't see because maybe they don't have that much gymnastics, I'm not saying they do or don't, but then they deduct for a pike. All right. So let's go. Holding for 5. Ready? Low Arabesque. Arms out to side. High oblique. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Side by side. 2. Beside the beam. Beside the beam. Coaches, you have to hold their foot up. I need another coach. Could I have another athlete? Thank you. Get on that last knee. And forward. 2, 3, 4, 5. Take a step into the low Arabesque. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Side by side. 2, 3, 4, 5. Forward. 2, 3, 4, 5. And step. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Side by side. Squeeze. Flatten. Shoulder blades squeeze together tight. And forward. 2, 3, 4, 5. Squeeze your shoulder blades, girls. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Side by side. 2, 3, 4, 5. Forward. 2, 3, 4, 5. Step. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Side by side. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Shoulder blades together. And go forward. 2. Everyone lay walks. So now then, here's where it gets. So girls, point your right foot in front. You have just done Arabesque side by side. Now you're pointing. So get in a high releve. Arms are oblique. She is going to snap off her toes like she has mud on her foot to make a tight Achilles, so I should see a calf muscle. And her hips, if I was pushing her like on a round off, her hips should travel, and this foot should not step there. She should step as far as she can. Push off your toes and step. Yeah, higher, higher. Get up there. Love hands. I pat a lot. Okay, and go. Arabesque, side by side, forward, and transfer weight. Push. So don't drive the leg up. It's just a smooth transfer. Like the ceiling stool here, it transfers. So that's where you learn to transfer. Okay, everybody try it. And coaches, can you point it out? Sharp, sharp, sharp transfer. So sharp. So what happens is we do what we call runs across 8 inch. 8 inch soft. Share with anybody. Yeah, no, she's the only one that wasn't on a soft mat. And releve, bounce, 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 bounce. And if you notice, she was kind of bouncing across the beam. The first year we had Nastia. It's made for level 10s, but because it's level 10 rules, but our wannabe elites drop in and win, which I don't think is right. But after the first year, they realized where they were training the athletes slow and draggy instead of fast, quick, get on, get off. And part of it is, everything on beam should have a light, lifted travel to it, not like you're glued to the beam. And this is part of it. Ready? Bounce, 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 bounce. Now hold your right foot up and bounce, 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 bounce. Lock your leg and the other side and go bounce, bounce. So when they're going across the beam with the straight leg runs, it should be bouncy, lightly. Okay, go up. So high releve, oblique arms, and run. Go, run, 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 run. Bounce it, but make sure it's not a rondajon. It's just straight underneath you. And go, and run. Better, and pivot. Now it goes into alternating like jazz runs. It's a cross between a longer step, but not quite a leap, because that last step before you take off for a leap is long, not short. Okay, ready? And go. Make it wider and roll. Push, 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 push. So some people, and pivot, go again. It looks like little low split leap. Then go, go. Bounce, 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 bounce. Okay, now make it alternating split leaps. And go. And leap, 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 leap. Okay, last time. Bigger. And leap, leap, leap. Okay, those two are leaping. And then those two are doing the right runs that were from before. So you can kind of see the difference, right? Okay. Now then, there's a whole jump circuit that I have. Girls, get in the jump. Try to hold in the air, okay? Let's try with just one split jump. And go. Split jump and hold. Okay, everybody get a split on the beam. Just do your best leg. I'm not going to even show you right leg, because maybe obviously maybe it's the other leg. Straighten the leg, lock the knee, hide it in the back. Arms oblique. Get them off the beam. Off, off. Now you're going to try to lift your feet. Try to lift your feet. Try to lift your feet. Lock your knees. Pull them up. Try to lift your feet. Now stand up and do a split jump on that side and try to get that split. And the only way on any leaps to make it show up in the air, they have to activate. It's jump. They kick their legs after they jump, and then they tighten. Ready? And go. And split jump and hold. Were you split more on the beat? Yeah, you got to split like you did on the beat. Ready and go. And split jump and hold. Close down there. Split jump and hold. Split jump and hold. And fast. And go. And 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, so get on the ground. Get on the ground. Ready, arms out. Do your best leg. Ready, arms out. 3 split jumps as fast as you can. So basically you get no plie. You only get fast feet. Ready, go. And 1 and 2 and 3. No, you plie and absorb. It's a punch. And go. And 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, get on the beam and do that. And if you've noticed in the elite, we punch all our connections now. We do no plie. Our girls go 3 fast. And jump and jump and jump and jump. No, there's no plie. Everybody put your arms over your head, lock your knees. Arms over your head, punch, 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 punch. Punch. This is a punch. This is a punch. Go, punch. No plie, no plie, just toes. Okay? Now do a split jump punch. There, do it for us. Split jump punch. No, ooh, everybody's watching the first one. There. That action is what? Now, a lot of the kids that go to Nazi now are a lot of the kids that come in. We have 7 to 12 that's in developmental. So when they drop back in at level 5, 6, 7, 8, they're going to be punching, and their dynamics is going to be higher and bigger than your other kids that are in there over plieing. So watch that when you go, because the punching makes it split jump and hold, and split jump and hold, and 3 fast, and 1 and 2 and 3, and left side, and other side, and split jump and hold, and split jump and hold, and split jump and hold, and fast, and 1 and 2 and 3. Okay? Everybody got that? And straddle jump. And go. Straddle jump. And straddle jump. And straddle jump. And 3 fast. And 1 and 2 and 3. And keep it trying. And tuck jump. And tuck jump. And tuck jump. And fast. And 1 and 2 and 3. And pipe jump. And go. Pipe jump. And pipe jump. And pipe jump. Pipe jump. And go fast. And 1 and 2 and 3. And the ugly wolf. And go. And wolf jump. And wolf jump. And wolf jump. And fast. And 1 and 2 and 3. Face the audience. And right split jump. And go. Right split jump. Hold. And right split jump. And hold. And right split jump. And hold. And right split jump. And fast. And 1 and 2 and 3. It may look just like a stretch jump. Don't worry about it. Don't move your arms. That's why I said just jump and jump and jump. If you only get that much split, who cares? Go. And split and split and split. Okay, left leg. And split jump hold. Split jump hold. Split jump hold. And fast. And 1 and 2 and 3. And straddle jump. Then go. Straddle. And straddle. And straddle. And straddle. And fast. And 1 and 2 and 3. And tuck. And tuck. And tuck. And fast. And 1 and 2 and 3. And pipe. And pipe. And pipe. And pipe. And fast. And 1 and 2 and 3. Good thrust, sweetheart. And wolf. And go wolf. And wolf. And wolf. Okay, and turn back forward. Now that's every shape they have, and if they can't do it forward, they can't do it sideward. Any turning ones are going to be dysfunctional. It's not going to happen. And you don't worry about the shape. Most people thumbs in. Right foot is supposed to be in front. Oh, put your left foot in. No, put your right foot, because you really shouldn't be cheating. You should be like this. Yeah. And go. Stretch jump quarter to the right. To the right. Stretch jump quarter to the right. And stretch jump quarter. Stretch jump quarter. Stretch, no, it's this. Don't use your arms, sweetheart. And go. Stretch jump quarter. You stretch and quarter in the air. You understand? Now left foot in front, go left. And stretch jump to the left. Stretch jump to the left. Quarter turn. Stretch jump to the left. Quarter turn. Stretch jump. Thank you for pointing your toes. Stretch jump to the left. Right foot in front. Stretch jump half to the right. And stretch jump half. And stretch jump half. And to the left. Left foot in front. And stretch jump half. And stretch jump half. Good, and then it goes full, 1.5, whatever, face sideways. Ready, arms up. You're going to go stretch jump half, okay, to the right. Ready, stretch jump half to the right. Stretch jump half to the right. And now to the left, stretch jump half to the left. Stretch jump half to the left. Okay, so you go half and full and 1.5, but they did really pretty well, but I want you to watch your feet. Go, arms over your head, stretch jump quarter, wherever you want to go. That is supposed to happen first. And sometimes you have to do like this. Come down here, sweetheart. And I do this on all advanced sleeves, okay? Stand right in front of me. Turn around. And arms over your head. Don't use them. Which way are you turning? Left. So now you just do a stretch jump, and I'm going to snap you. Stretch jump. And I snap and spin. And spin so I can get this around and this around and this around. So this is the baby version of what we do with advanced leaps. Thank you, sweetheart. Okay, so you need to address all turning because everything ends up turning and all shaping. All right? Okay, now then, hold your right leg up, arms to crown. Turn out, turn out, turn out, and releve up and down. And up, 90 or higher, turn it out. Up and down. And up. Now 2 jumps. And jump. And jump. That's it. Change legs. And other side. And releve up and down. Straighten your leg. Up and down. Up and down. Now jump. And jump. Plie and jump. Okay? Now, go to the end of the beam. High releve. Up. Pivot. Nice high releve walks. Always look beautiful. Open your arms oblique. Go back to crown and pivot. You should always make them accountable for every moment. That is what the judges watch them in warm-up, watch them do everything. And then you either prove them wrong in the meet or you do even better. But you don't want to be ugly in a warm-up and then do good in the meet because they're going to remember that. Then you don't want to win warm-ups and then do bad in the meet. So you have to train it to get it. Okay, now be very careful on this and don't use your arm. You're going to go step, straight leg, step, hold, straight. Okay? No use of the arms. Ready and go. And step, straight leg, skip, step, straight leg, skip. This is the base of all switches, of all our leaps. So if you can't do this, and that's without arms. Now let's see if you can do it with arms. And be very careful. If you remember Rebecca Bross and all those kids during that time, when I started adding skips years ago, our best kids bit the beam. Yeah. So don't just assume. My dance people, when I went to college, wouldn't even work with my athletes. They'd see a full in, and then they'd come over. Well, they can't even plie. Well, they're preschool and plie. They said, well, I don't want to work with them. I think they have a bad attitude. No, they don't know. So it's very frustrating that you've got to treat it just like you're teaching beginning of anything big. Yeah.
I was just going to see if you could, like, lunge into the kick also. Like, lunge hop.
You could if you wanted. When we start explaining everything else, I'll just show you that when they come to developmental, I plie nothing lunging coming out of skills because of the distortion it has. That doesn't mean you have. I have a dance back. One side, other side. It's one side, other side. Ready? And go. And step, skip. And step, skip. But circle the crown. Circle the crown. And this is probably the only place we use the circle the crown because everything goes to high oblique or jumping jack arms. So now we're going to give another basics of just the beginning stages of switches, but I'll give the rest in the dance class, when we do the leaps. So now you're going to take and you swing your, let's just do alternating. You go swing, Arabesque, swing, Arabesque. Skip to Arabesque. The beginning stages of switch like leap. And go. And skip, Arabesque. And step, other side. Skip, Arabesque. And skip, Arabesque. And so you do either no arms or you go right to here and open. Okay? If you want to do advanced leaps and you want them to move forward, you do not do opposition arms. Okay, so let's see if we can go right in front of your chest and then it opens. Right in front of your chest and then open. Skip Arabesque. Go. Skip Arabesque. That's it. Skip Arabesque. Not crown. Right in front. Good. Okay, now everybody in the middle of the beam, pivot. Walk nicely to the middle of the beam. Pivot around again and face this way. Turn. And okay, now then we're going to do a turn. Most people do turns from lunges. You can go piqué, fourth position, a lunge, whatever you want. I'm just picking lunge. I hate the lunge, but I'm picking lunge because 90% of the people do it. So now you're going to lunge and you're just going to prepare for a turn and you're going to go up and just hold. and go. Up and hold. For count 8. Okay? Palms in. Thumbs in. Good. One more time. So we hold all the core things for a count of 8. Now, our country has a big problem now, and I think it's because of texting and the internet, and they don't even know how to write. We have claws. And so the claws have arrived the last 5 years, and it's terrible. So girls, thumb and finger together so that you have pretty fingers, okay? But try not to claw it. All right, ready? And prepare. And go. And up. Hold, hold, hold. Crown, shoulders down, thumbs in. Thumbs in. Get them in, get them in, get them in. And down. Now do one full turn. And go. Okay, so they're doing 2 PKs and some lunging, but here's the bottom line. A turn is not finished like this. A turn is finished on 1 foot. And we're not going to take time to break it down until we'll do more turns later and more because I have to get to the tumbling, okay? But I'm going to show one drill. Everybody come down, lay down on your back, candlestick up, put your feet on the beam. Lay down on your back, not close to the beam. Over here, girls, so they can see. This one. No, out of the way, out of the way. Candlestick up. You're too close. Okay. And candlestick. Toes on the beam. Now get in your turn shape. You're a little bit too. There you go. And get in your passe shape. Tighten. Don't let it move. No, pull it up. Pull it up. Pull it up to your face. Tighten it up. Get it up. Tighten. Tighten. And now snap off. Snap. And snap. Girls, get your shoulders down. Shoulders down. Thumbs in. Crown. And snap. And shoulders down, 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 down. So they need to be able, it's really a drill double layout. We put 2 feet up here and it pops off, but it snaps. Snap, push off your toes. Push off your toes. And if they can't push off their toes and snap, they're not gonna have the lift of the heel and everything. Okay, good, let's go back up and do a nice full turn. See if we can start and finish on toe. And ready, and prepare. And go, and turn, and lift. Better. Okay, there's a million drills for this. We'll try to get it, but they have to hold their head at the beginning. If their head turns right away, they're going to overturn. If they don't break it a 3/4, they're going to overturn it, but we have bigger problems to deal with. Okay, now get it into the beam. First, Coach, can you bring me some bands?
It's 20 minutes.
For what? Oh. Can you give me 20 bands?
Right, now swing up. Okay, then come on over here. Nice, stomach. Okay. All right. Over and forward. It's a control thing. It's kind of hard at first. Once you get used to it, they get better at going up and down. Go ahead. Easy, easy, easy. Tight. All right, there you go. Oh, she got so much better at that. That's awesome. There's a lot of that. Easy, up and down, up and down. Stomach, stomach. All right, a little bit of belly. Stomach. Okay, we get the sprinting down. Right. And stretch it out. Good. Feel the arms move. Good job. Tell me when you got far for you. Let's see how it is for you. And I'll just back this up based on where I want him to work towards. Okay? Try to hurdle over it. Push. Whoops. You're going to jump over it. Oh. Might be a little far for you. Jump. Push. Okay, so it made her have to work a little bit. You almost got up there that time. That's a good job. Push. Good job. Okay. All right. Yeah. Sure. Okay. Sorry, man. Step maybe a little closer. You're kind of far from it. But also, I like a couple cubes of foam too. That might be safer. Maybe I should do that. There you go.
Good.
Did you make it? Oh, there's some over there. There you go. So I've done where I've had 2 or 3 high, and they have to work their hurdle. You kind of need 2 stacks because they get to be an expert at this. Yeah. So you kind of need to have a couple of stacks, like a nice little wall. Yeah. All right. Well, not good job. Good job. You bent a little to shape, but that's okay. Good. All right. And you want to get off that shoulder. And I'll work on that arm for a while, then go on to the other arm. It's also great when they have a wrist injury to train one arm round-offs. Okay, so she had that round-off I was just talking about. So if she was trying to round off that up to a panel match, she'd barely make it because that right arm did nothing. You've got to put it down straight ahead of you and push the floor down. Better, okay, not too bad. Yours is actually pretty straight. Okay, watch out for that cheese. That's better. Okay, so you're getting over the foam by biking though instead of by jumping. So you want to get up by jumping. That was better. Still a little crooked, but now you got weight on your hand that time. Point. Now as soon as you take off, you drop the arm and you high knees up. It's not how fast you go, it's just how high you get. As soon as they take off, you step up and be ready. All right, first one go and knees up. Make even lines. I don't want 7 in a line and then 5. Okay, now you're going to keep your bottom. So you stay flat and you keep your bottom. Ready? First line go. Second line go. Now you're going to squat down, all the way down. Everybody squat down. Your bottom is on your heels. That was interesting. Everybody squat down. I'm waiting. You touch the ground. Now, you'll on the mat, you'll explode into a nice stretch neck jump. Arms over your head, pushing your hips forward like a straight leg sheet. Okay, stand up. Ready? Point your foot. You ready? Ready is up here. Go. And go. Squat, explode. Go. First line. Second line. Step up. Third line. Go. Okay, now then you stand on your right leg. You're going to do straight leg, one leg hop, pumping like vaulting. Bottom knee is straight and pop through your toes and push. Ready? First line go. And 1, and 2. Next line go. Straight leg. Go. Right leg. Straight leg, left leg go. Did you see anybody that had a straight leg? Which one? Purple woman back here? Purple woman, step forward. Get on that side. I don't know, but I like purple woman. You better not change lead turn. No, go ahead. Go. Totally straight leg hop. See that? Lock leg. You still can pump your arms. It makes you work your foot. And you see that.
Whoa. Where's the little one over here? Who's the little one over here that did so good?
The third one in the back.
What did you? This one, right? The chosen. Step forward. And turn side. And go. And get it up. Get it up. Pump your arms like Volti. Pump, pump, pump. Was it the other one? Oh, let's see the other one. You have twins? No wonder. There you go. Woo! All right. Everybody got that? Okay, let's go across. And go. And pump, pump. Girls, let's go. Control your arms. And go. And go. And go. So really, if you tie tubing to the stall bars and stuff, girls, coaches, with your arm weight tubing on here and here, you can start pumping and then start jumping and then coordinate it. The best way is go over 1 and 2 panel mats and it automatically naturally happens. Everybody got that? Arms out to the side. You go across, kicking your legs 90 or higher. Ready and go. First line. One to the other leg. Next line, go. Next line, go. Side kick goes behind your shoulder like you're kicking your ponytail, and it's not a waddle. It kicks like you're on a line right under yourself. Ready? Arms up. Point your right foot and go. Kick sides. Up, up. Next line, go. Next line, go. Straight. Next line, go. Girls, quit talking. Stop talking. Now you're going to kick forward. You're supposed to be ready. Yeah. And your arms are going to go up and down as you kick back. Ready? And kick back. And go. Up and down. Next one, go. Kick down. Ready? And go. Ready? And go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Other arm back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right arm forward in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Other arm in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Coaches, if you could please come up and help them on this, just in case. You see someone go strange. If it's not your athlete, just grab them anyway. Arms over your head. Drop your right arm back. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, everybody stop. Coaches, get an athlete. Quick, hurry, hurry. Drop your right arm back.